Hello folks and welcome back to Tradespotting, GME, the millionaire maker. Nobody makes millionaires like Tradespotting. And I'm going to make 100 of them. You can be one if you so choose. But beware, nothing will come of nothing. Self-knowledge can be painful, and apparently ignorance is bliss. So is it worth the effort? Does the benefit outweigh the damage? Ignorance, you see, isn't actually bliss. Ignorance is chaos. In a classical sense, chaos is tragedy. And that's exactly where anybody who doesn't want to know about themselves is going to find themselves. So will you get wise before you get there? Will you get wise before you're old? Can you spend the time it takes to trade safe? Hello, Mr. Azimat. Most people believe in some form or another of the idea of even distribution. Most people, on the other hand, who've ever lived and died, did so in poverty. So that all being said, because something had to be said, nothing comes from nothing after all, you may find select sector SPY ETFs to be part of a well-diversified portfolio. That is to say, they might provide you with exposure to a specific category that your portfolio would otherwise be lacking. They can do that in an efficient manner because the State Street's ETFs just happen to be cheaper on fees than the iShares equivalent in most cases. And in the way that they're organized, it very much frees up time for you to do technical analysis on a sector at once, rather than measuring every single company within that particular sector. And in XLK, that is the technology sector from the SPY funds, there are 77 companies. Now, who's got time for that, right? Tradespotting, but most people not really into all that charting. So they can provide you with those potential opportunities. Also, they do provide for excellent opportunities in terms of a counter trade, which will help reduce risk in any given trade, perhaps, or your overall portfolio. And so we look to XLK, just as we have previously looked to XLY for a long, currently up there, doing quite well. So far, so good. You're on path to be that millionaire. XLV, we talked about a short, very much on path. Great, congratulations. Now we're adding XLK into the mix. Now ignore this is just me, something I have on the go today, not relevant to the show. Price action here, if it does get to that 200 period moving average on the daily time frame, might present you with an opportunity, and then this prior high within the formation might provide you with a potential opportunity to manage your risk. Same can be said for this level, in at around 149, with a stop exceeding those prior highs up around 160, 157. With these two trades, you've got potential opportunities to capture a breakdown if this isn't a bullish broadening wedge, which at the minute you've got an opportunity to test that because it's here at the basis line within this formation. And if it does come to the top after this support, which is also constant with the prior 236, you'd be exceeding the 50 simple, touching that 200 period moving average. If it breaks out at the top side here, the prior high from the previous formation is at around that 148 to 150 level. That provides you with the lowest risk entry. It also gives you a risk reward of over 3.5 to 1. Therefore, you could manage an entry and the execution of said entry at this level, which would justify a trade based on its own risk reward down to where you would typically find support on its next touch. And if it broke or didn't exceed back above a profit-taking stop, oops, pardon me, then you might capture what would be the downside on this move, because XLK is going to $48.50. Currently trading at 126. So how do we capture that move? That is one opportunity and one framework for doing so. Okay, so if and when SPY breaks down, let's check out SPY. 388 having pushed up to 39 negative. You know, obviously there's data coming out over the next couple of days to be aware of with SPY, which will lead to an increase in volatility. And with this rejection just ahead of that release, it is very clear where price action will go. If it's bad, the first stop is around 378, prior support. That'll break down to 369. And if it's absolutely terrible, end of the world news, which would probably not come instantly but start at that moment, you'd be looking at 355 and continuation thereafter. So this is what we're talking about. If SPY breaks down, tech will get completely and utterly creamed. And in today's hieroglyphics, we're speaking XLK. You might also be thinking to yourself, Tradespotting, I know you said it's 77 companies and it's that particular ETF has about 35 billion in it, which as represented is denominated from the 350, 360 odd billion in the SPY equivalent run again by State Street. But you might be more interested in, say, for example, IWD, which is again very similar, right? This is the iShare Trust, which is a higher fee, so it's not quite as efficient to trade it, though it does provide you with the same efficiencies of time. It also, I'm going to tell you now, something that most retail traders wouldn't know, is that it has a very low standard deviation compared to XLK, which is essentially the same thing. Part of the reason for that is because IWD's also got this exposure to financial services, which you don't quite get as much in XLK. So I prefer this for that reason. And other people will say, but Tradespotting, I'm also looking to turn this off because it's just too crazy news. NASDAQ for, tech, right? Why not? So, and I'd agree with you, it's a very strong opportunity here on the NASDAQ. If we go to the weekly time frame, you can see you've lost that 200 period moving average. You're potentially getting a rejection from it. And like we were saying, tech getting creamed if SPY goes down. If SPY loses support, then all three of these stickers, IWD, XLK, and NDQ, will all provide you with massive opportunities. Perhaps NDQ the biggest on a straight trade. Now, you don't want to jump in on a train that's already moving. Preferably, you'd be doing it at the very least at a train station. And they typically, we would call them, support and resistance, that sort of thing. That's the typical name. Yo. So what we're looking at there is then when SPY breaks down, you don't necessarily want to jump on a moving train. I'm not saying that. Don't jump, don't take SPY. Sure, whatever you take your fancy, right? I wouldn't be looking for that. I have a much better opportunity elsewhere if that's breaking down. Hence the point that I'm breaking down SPY into these various ETFs to point out the various opportunities within each, and which will be the greater. And so why waste your time anywhere else when you can do it here? But also, looking at SPY breakdown, you'll get the idea that some things are going to get hit worse than others, so you'll know to where to go. And I think this is a massive one, which is going to come down to it'll exceed this prior low at 6821. It'll take out this thing at 6,000, which part of a strong trend. You held the center line. It was very good on the RSI there, a weekly time frame, but that's also going to go, and you'll be coming back down and testing in around these levels here, somewhere around 5,000. So that's where it's going, right? So what you could be looking at is when SPY breaks down, you'd be looking for a short position here, and that could even be waiting. You could be looking at this trade, 50 simple here. You get back above the 200 period moving average. For a short position, I don't particularly like having long wait around trades, nor do I like that level of distance between an entry and a stop, regardless of where my exit's going to be, because sure, great, right, you get the trade, wonderful and that, and you've got X amount of money to put into it, but can you imagine the percentage increase of just the first initial capital deployed if you got a better entry? What does that represent on a trade, especially if you're like me and you're going to kick leverage in once you get your stop into profit? You definitely want to get the best possible entry. So this setup might not work, but it still is what a lot of people would trade. There's that looking at it, and you're waiting, in fact, for confirmation on this with SPY breaking down, which makes sense. A lot of people would do. And then if you're targeting that in around these levels, that's 7.5 to 1, and it's a huge trade, right? So that's huge trade, more than 50% off NDQ there, right? So, fantabulous, right? So that's what we're looking at. And if I was talking about these sort of things and SPY break and support, then I'd go back to SPY to make the point that what does breaking support mean? You know, like I've said 378 was the important level around here, and it was for open and closes and whatnot once this price action came down. Where is it there? 378 right now. Look, there's the 236. Sure, it wicked below it, but like this is a weekly time frame. It never closed below it. None of that happened. Never closed below it. Not even close, right? So you were looking at 378 for your that sort of place. Does it break? No, held. Price action then going back up, find where is resistance, right? Now, this is the weekly. You can see those closes on the body came in at, you know, 385. We're at 388 now. People will be caught out if price action moves through 385 after the news tomorrow, and they're looking for 378 to be support. You know, it's already come up, put in this high, lower high than the previous high. Show you this here. Let's see if look at this date heat. Right, so you put in this high, obviously. Then you put in a lower low subsequently. Then you put in this lower high. If this price action now comes back down and tests 385 and breaks down to 383, then it's going to go at 378, obviously, to test if there's still support where there was previously. And there won't be because you've just put in another lower high. And you'll come back down, you'll be looking at the actual support. Won't be there at its oscillation low. Right, if the news is bad and that's what's taking price, it's because this is a definite, clear and utter rejection. That's on the weekly time frame. There's loads of other time frames you could show. There's 200 period moving average. It's definite rejection previously. Looks like it's about to get confirmation. So the news is bad. It's going to break there. You're looking in at around 369, right? That'd be the next level to look to. Right, so that's what Tradespotting's saying. Yo! Right, so when support breaks, which might be weekly or monthly closes on SPY, even if price action still continues on for the rest of that day, or, you know, there's other things happening. If you're taking something off a different chart, this is something that you might look to. Okay, and like I said, don't jump on moving trains. So that's that, and then obviously to check in with the previous trades from Millionaire Maker with the XLY and these potential longs, you know, that's up again today, and a considerable move at that point. You're up a considerable percentage. You could easily move your stop into profit. If we take that down to say the 4-hour time frame and say price action here, that looks a little bit bearish engulfing. There's the gap. It moved up at the start of that. Isn't completely bearish engulfing. Perhaps you take your stop and say if it drops back below 130 now, maybe you're thinking it provides a different opportunity to go long, or you would close that out, and maybe it's provided you with your straddle might have got you some value, especially if you took that across both of these tickers. Here's XLV, which is down another 1.7%. That's a bearish engulfing. It's lost rejected at resistance there. And that being a 236, you would suggest it's coming at least to 132. Maybe this is something that you could look to keep open. And then if that news is bad tomorrow, it would be even worse for things that are already doing bad. And on the other hand, if it's good, then the strong get stronger. So remember that for XLV if it does do well. XLK, I'm looking at this. Obviously, tech's got a strong and reflexive attitude. Yo. So you might be looking at this thing moving up to around those 133 levels. It might be even breaking that 200 period moving test this prior high. Gives you that opportunity. If it is bad news, you might not get that. It looks like it's already at the basis line. If it loses it now, it would confirm this, I think, after 3 touches both sides, that that's not a broadening wedge looking to move to the top side. Also, the fact that it's like from November 2021 highs and similar to the breakdown overall, I don't think you could consider this a bullish formation if it is to break those levels now. I wouldn't even wait for the test of 113 on this guy. I'd be looking at it breaking 122, thinking that's a sign for the overall market, right? Well, the overall market, even though consumer discretion is doing so much better than it had been previously, though we did call that obviously. So that is probably I spoke too fast. I certainly didn't enunciate as I'd like to have, but I hope that it was helpful and we got through the episode pretty good there with some nice tips and help for everybody. Let's see if anything came in since the start of the show there. Boom. Activity screen. Boom. Nope, that was on the other day there. 3 days ago. Thank you, Bill, very much. Move man, yo. And I just quickly scroll through there. Don't see anything there. Okay, dokie. Okie dokie. So what do we see then? Has anybody added me? What did you asking about or looking for anything? Tradespotting baller in the house. Yo, good to see you, my man. Chat disconnected. Have I got hello? Hello? Tradespotting, will you take a peek at CPS? Enter here, exit 27. CPS. That was previously. Is the show even still on? 369. Give it to me, suck it to me one more time. Yo, haha. Yeah, so CPS 3.9% today. He came back, filled that gap. not broken the range. Very much part of this downtrend on the daily, 2-day. Got full doof. I don't think it's going up to the top side now. There's that flashback at 8 spot. 70, 200 period moving average there. You're likely going to get rejected off that at the first pass. This is downward sloping trend. It's very significant, strong downward sloping trend. 200 period moving average, strong rejection previously. That couldn't be clear from this first turnaround, right? On the daily time frame, likely the same, but we're on the 2-day. When this thing broke, it didn't break the 200 period moving average. That wasn't the impetus for this decline. Subsequently, when it came back up, as such, the 200 period moving average wasn't resistance, because nor was it support. It wasn't even interesting. But afterwards, you would be able to say this is definitely a proxy for the trend, would be that 200 period moving average, and it's significantly longer below it than it is above it. And as such, when it comes back up on the first pass, you can't necessarily expect it to break that level. So it may well be that anywhere back above 15 is very tough, right? 1440, 1450, 15. That sort of level, very, very tough. Does it look like it's getting there now? Have to check on smaller time frames. This stage, it's in the bullish control zone. Don't like arguing with that. You've got your confirmation on the MACD and volatility. Not getting enough information really there to say anything. Previously, it was already doing its move, and at this, haven't really noticed any change. Yeah, you've got a touch of bullish divergence on this. It's suggestion of an inverted head and shoulders breaking back above that area into these areas. I mean, it's looked like this is like perhaps a short down 866. I wouldn't be looking to trade it back up to 136 right now, though at some point in the future that may happen. This thing broke down in 2018. Well, daily time frame, what are we seeing? You've still got a little bit on that gap, have you? Possibly. It looks debatable, so let's go with the debate and say yes. Oh, it'll be controversial. So if you exceed this level, I would expect you to break these prior lows at 420. Might be a first touch of it though. And then down to 350 and onwards. And I think the trade that you would be looking for would be best maybe a 400. Where are you getting on the 4 hour? There's another flash down at 660. So there's a cross here. This thing's about to happen. It's at resistance now. You could take an entry with a stop really close, maybe back about 13. That's a little bit of a big percentage chunk actually, but still you can manage it in around those levels or straight on your entry, right? And you could watch it open in range tomorrow. Probably comes away from there. You could easily get in, have a clean stop and entry. Looking for this golden cross on a 4 hour to be tested. Price action's gone through it quite rapidly. Quite easily could come back down. And if it does, it seems quite negative. That flash being below it seems very, very negative. Back on the daily time frame, cross there, 50 above the 200. Psht. Yep, I would say that this thing is not particularly fantastic on the long term. It looks like it's in perma-downtrend there since 2018. Lower highs, lower lows. And this is presenting an opportunity for a potential short. If it is to break back up again, it would have to do a very significant level and be around 19. So if it does prove me wrong, then up above 19 would have to be proving me wrong again to go beyond there. And that'd be twice. And how often has that happened? Like very, 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 very rarely. 5 membership gifts. Oh my gosh, guys, it's me. Wow. Yes, welcome. Welcomes. My guest. Closer and closer look, as I said, much welcoming you. BBW Moons. Penguin Lady. Daddy Longlegs. Joe. Just by himself there. Hamas. Great to see you, Hamas. Dirty Jesse, legend. How you doing? Fake damn golden bastards. Heck damn, eh? Big bonus though. Eh? 10 membership gifts from Lipton. Oh my god, what? Oh my god! Shout out to 5 memberships there. Blue Man, Captain Jack Daniels, happy birthday. Pam, part-time player. Yo, how's it going, buddy? Kevin! Erwin! TL, is that yourself? Oh my goodness, wow. And then there was 5 more apparently. What? What's really happening? Maybe they were all from Lipton. Oh my goodness gracious, it was. My goodness, there it is. He's probably the most generous man in the world this week. There you go, boom. And it's Monday. Boom. What did I miss? What else did I miss? I feel left out. You are all so lucky. It's great. If you are on TikTok, be sure to follow at Tradespotting. Yes, thanks so much. Yeah, be sure to follow me on TikTok. Try to get me down on the old Twitter. But some all on TikTok. It's all up on the old TikTok, and it's even better over there. Wow, you should see it. It's amazing. Videos. absolute chef's kiss, total brilliant. You loved him. Get on TikTok, look at Tradespotting. It's the real Tradespotting too, me. So it's so good. He's the best. He's the best. What else did we like? So for example, what did we say? I mean, what did this get to its high? What was its high? 1750. That's like what I said, yo. 1750 is what I said. You know, and it can go to anything in the world ever, whatever. And I set it to the exact number it went to, the exact number. Boom. Kane. Look at that. So that's glorious. That's so nice. Who does that? Dude, spent 2 hours with me today, helping me. What did I've missed it. I've scrolled past. So, dude spent 2 hours with me today, helping me get my freaking shit together. Jimmy is a freaking king. Thanks very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Good guy you are, sir. You're a very good guy, sir. So what else is up, yo? What's everyone else up to? Yo, anything else? Any other questions? Just ask some new members. Check out the members videos. There's shitloads of them. They're really, really good. The educational ones in particular. Because, you know, I wanted people to be members, you know. So they're like, they're members. And the idea is that somebody will come across them and be like, oh, that's so good, I'll join as a member. But obviously that never happens. So, also, it means that I don't ever advertise, like, these are amazing videos that you can see if you're a member. So what you're going to have to do is just go on to my YouTube page. Now you're a member if you haven't been before. And you go on to the, like, there's videos, live, community tabs, there's all of that. And you go across the membership one. And then all the videos you can watch are all listed all out there. And you can scroll down and be like, wow, that's one. Oh, whoa, look at this one. Oh, wow, that one. And there's some really good ones in there, yo. Some really good ones. Like the buy signal on GME, like when to buy, when not to buy, when it's going to go up, when it's not going to. It's brilliant. It's incredible. So we're still at 16 here. High of the day, 1713. Low that set in Tradespotting also said it's going to pop to 1709. There it is. High of the day, 1713. So sue me with the 4 cents. Positive. Right, so also 200 period moving average there, 15-minute time frame, proxy for the trend. We're still below it. Things pretty tough. The horizontal level to break to the top side is actually 1923. In advance of that, you'd see 1851, and holding that 50 simple 1633 towards close. Could be a lot worse. Let's put it like that. 30-minute time frame. That is version of it being worse. And then 1 hour freaking. 1 hour time frame there is it's clear rejection, and what happens when that previous signal gets worse and worse and worse. Here's 2 hour where it's the same thing, more dramatic. 4 hour, get out my face. I know you've even obviously been in downtrend for a while, so we'll stop doing that game now. Right, so you're looking at this thing, I'm talking about potential inflection points, and we had one of those on the 4th, and the next time we can expect something like that is, well, I mean, the data's out very soon, but this thing says you're likely to get bigger moves towards the 12th. Yo. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Yo, how's everybody? Good to see you. GME, what is this last week? Yo. Same price action putting in atypical behavior when we see a very particular signal given on a momentum indicator we use at the same time, yo. Check it out. It's a big section in the course all about it. You know, like there'll be I'll tell you what you'll most commonly find the circumstances of a failure swing is when you thought you're following an asset for a while and you're thinking, I'm getting better and better at trading this asset, even if it's on paper or in your head, you know, you're getting better at this particular ticker, notwithstanding everything else that's going on in trading and all the other moves. You're just looking at this one thing and you feel that you're getting better and better and better, and you start spotting moves, and then something gets really, really good and you think this is it, and price action goes the other direction. And then just when you think, right, I'll correct, and it goes back again, and then you're wrong twice in a row, and you don't know what's happened. And then it goes for one final thing, and you think, now I'm right. And on that third occasion, when so many people like blow up their accounts, and you speak to them, and like they messed it up, you go back and you point to, here was a failure swing on that third part of the psychological trick when you were completely and utterly hook, line, and sinker going for it. If you'd noticed this particular signal, you'd have run for the hills, and so does everyone else who's seen it, which makes the whole situation worse. And when you reveal to you this simple fact, like it's just so gestalt to you once you see them. You know, you might like mistake them peering, is that way or not? But you'll always be looking for them. Is failure swing. So check out a section on the course. We put an awful lot of effort into how you would use things to make your life better that you can apply to any chart at any time. And that's not necessarily true of a failure swing. You won't always find it, but you find it the way you find it, and the places to use it to your advantage definitely cover that very well. So check it out. And if you've been making repeated mistakes that are causing you pain that add up to a lot of money, then invest that money instead in yourself by learning these sort of things, so that you stop spending that money on nothing, right? Because sure, like, you can learn from the mistakes you make when you don't trade good, but you can learn a whole lot more from a structured environment designed to teach you all the things you need to know to stop losing money. And then you can use that future forever. It's a sensible idea. So you should definitely check it out if you haven't done it. If you're thinking about doing it and you haven't done it yet, would it be that absurd that you would go along to the website and sign up to it, having seen this video today, and think, I could start doing these things? Look, he's broken down SPYs, broken down sectors, and he's making money for us, right? Like, no financial advice, but you could be doing this super duper just like me all the time, every day, if that's what you wanted. But it isn't easy. There isn't easy, and don't expect the course to be cheap if that's what you're thinking, though it is. Because if you were to think about what is in the course, it's all my time spent years and years doing these sort of things, which I spent a whole lot more in terms of dollar value actually acquiring the information in the first instance, and then all my experience of applying it, along with my brother who does exactly the same thing, and presented in the best possible, most concise way in an environment designed to help you. So it's really, it's like actually really valuable when you think about it. So, I mean, everybody who's, takes it understands that about the content when they start doing it too, and they take it seriously. And they're also then in the Discord chatting with each other, doing homework sessions the other day, which people also host and stuff. And it's an incredible environment if you're looking to learn. Anyway, it's not like I need to, it's not like I need to sell it. You should definitely check it out if you're interested. Check it out. Right, what was it we were doing? GME, price action here for our daily time frame. Yo, get out of my face. Daily time frame. So downward sloping trend, potential for price action to come up and test this horizontal. Currently, continuation is expected. The important level here in around $16 has been the close on the body here. We were looking for an abandoned baby. Did we get that here on the daily? It would have been nice to see something off the back of it. Very close, but not completely. And then overall, this formation a little bit lacking, failing to break above the center of this prior candle that took us back from our previous level of support, 1773, part of that rejection from $18.70 odd. Right, so that's not fantastic. And you could then see increased volatility, especially when this thing drops back down to, for first example, if it were to get to 1420, you would potentially see a bounce. And even then, you know, anything that drops below 1620 at this stage, you're going to be looking at as potential resistance. So where does support come in? And that would be a question for GameStop if it does drop back down again. When I say that, that's like implying something positive that hasn't happened. That this is just a downward sloping trend, and that has broken a prior low and an important extension target, and then put in resistance at that exact level at the same time. So we would expect to find a bounce off that when we first approach that level on the next pass. In the meantime, important level to hold, 1620. If it doesn't, bad news. Again, as we've been doing, you know, long term, there's the weekly time frame. You see all of that writ large with the rejection of the 200 and slipping below what is like currently a 236 from this area here. You know, obviously we had to turn around to even define this as a potential 236. So at this stage, that's the area to get back above again. You know, 1850, this prior low, the 1868 extension, and then test that 200. Both of those are like very difficult, and as such, we define this area with a little box. Where are you, yo? Little box, and then above that another one, because there's also problems if they're getting back above each of these areas, even if you were to make it there, which you would anticipate if you were to break these prior zones. So this is the areas to aim to the top side, and that is the quick take on GME on the downside as well. Quick look at AMSA. This is pisses off as many people as happy about things now. So you got your gap filled prior. Price action is still in this sideways range, not going anywhere, looking like it desperately wants to come lower. These gaps tempting but not moving towards it. This rejection at the top side of the 200 simple 50 below, that's not nice. What's the 1 hour saying? Yeah. So you want to get back above that 50. Simple not managed it yet. 15 period moving average or 50 simple below the 200. If price action is to lose the 50 simple here at 392, very close to doing so towards the end of the day, you'd expect in the next few days to come back 377 and then back to these 4 hour lows. That's not helping. So you're back to this gap here then at 320 because you've already broken your prior lows. Oh, nasty. So that's what we're looking over there. And then obviously also worth bearing in mind at all times that the Federal Reserve in America is actually, when you eliminate all of its the other side of the book, your assets on this thing are currently slipping below trend. So does that suggest that quantitative tightening, you know, I mean, like typically quantitative tightening would be an absurd suggestion when this is happening. So does it suggest that, you know, quantitative easing is going to be part of the conversation again? Well, we'll find out tomorrow what's going on in the data, but it doesn't seem like the Federal Reserve's looking at that as a particular. I mean, if I got my effective federal funds chart on at the minute somewhere here, it doesn't look like they're paying much attention to that. Anyway, so like let's focus on the interesting stuff. What else? So Jackie was talking about Nvidia. What did it do then? Where are you? Slight pop. So far, not managed to make it up this level, but that'd be a good little area to take it from if it was breaking down. Anyway, so nothing new there. What else? Big sense GME might not have it turned on. Shit, what? Micro flash, my rocky outcrop flash. Yeah, maybe I've just turned it off. I've turned it off and on some charts. It keeps flipping between different tabs, some of which is open, some of which is not, for different reasons, Joe. So maybe, but maybe not. What else? What did I miss? Did I miss anything here? Vic Vince, 1337. There it is there, 1447. VLD for Kathy. Vola da. Kathy. Come home, where are you? Right, so this is to Kathy and the Heathcliff, isn't that it? Right, so 236. It's currently at 220. Is this the right thing? VLD. Is that what you're talking about? Probably will be, right? Yo, Suntime Monkey. It will be. So if it did break it, well, prior high, you know, this was the 236 previously. Came back from this dramatic drop down through the 236. Golden pocket retracement, got the full part of that as the 200 period moving average met it. So that's interesting. Now the 50 simple is meeting the 236 as price action is coming up to meet it. It did that previously here. So if you break through the 50 simple, previously you went to the 200 period moving average. And if you were to do that this time, likely you would meet the 200 period moving average at the 382, which is in around at 313. So that's what I'd be looking at, 313, yo. To the top side, just off a brief glance. The area to break would be 220. That would be where you would be looking for that to start happening from. And then this low here, touch of bullish divergence through this part of the trend. But you broke back below what was your 236. And if we are to take this guy out and say, well, what did it do, sir? Already got an 886 and then a bounce here. This is your 886, you see. Look at that. Tradespotting is psychic. So you got your 886 bounce, 236. Now if this fails catastrophic, it'll go to 1.13. That's in at 1, and it'll do that via a bounce at 133. Not very much, putting in resistance likely then at 150 before it hits the bottom, as they say. Shout out to the French there. Le bottom, and then le bottom, I don't mind if I do. Right, so then if it breaks above 220, like I was saying, right, you'll eat that 200 period moving average up there at $3, and that's a trade and a half, isn't it? But also, like, I don't know, going from here back again, 50% retracement, that above that at 279, you'd say maybe something exciting is happening. So I would actually expect this thing to fail around there. If it didn't, fantastic. And that as such, that would be talking about managing your risks. And if you have to manage your risks that very close to the thing, then you're looking at a long position with also a very tight stop. As such, you want this to break through the 236 with velocity, and you jump in it at the first pass rather than it, you know, at the first time. Not first pass, doesn't, who cares? But when it does do it, you go with it, and then have your stop right immediately below it. And then as soon as it's in profit, put your stop there, and then take your target like 279, unless they're trying to manage a trade that's already, you know, existence, and you want to work the margins in it or whatnot. Then I mean, long term, you're talking about this thing. You're talking about this thing. Boom. It has to. I mean, this isn't on already. You know, it has to get up here above there and do everything before that trade will be activated, right? So if it just like gets in there and fails, it has to get back up here. So I mean, that's what that thing means anyway, yo. So What was I saying? Yeah. Probably something about this. Yeah. So, I mean, that looks like the safest thing to do with it. And why am I got this? Not what I was aiming for. It was there. So what's this look like risk reward wise? 247. That's not great. So you're going to have to take this, like I was saying, really tight stop as it goes through there, and then move your stop with it. And it probably does actually bounce off the 50 simple. So you'd rather wait for that 50 simple to meet the 236. And it is possible that the price action doesn't break above it until then. When it does, the 200 period moving average, that'd be a very ambitious target because you saw it did something here and tested it a number of times before it broke down. You'd say that was quite clearly resistance. Then it might does the same thing, yo's Kens. Yo, that does that sign then, yo's. So that's what I'm thinking. But what else are we thinking? What else was the nature of the question? Oh yes, hit that like button. I never remember to ask people to do that. Hit the like button, please. So what else? Well, what else did I miss? Go off my face. Off. Right. Hey. So what else did we miss? Did I miss anything? I missed that one from Vic. How you doing, Vic? How's it going? How's it going, Kathy? How's it going, everyone? 18 months. Was Eric? That was Friday. That was Friday too. So VLD, I mean, that's what I'm thinking in terms of what other time frames maybe you're looking for. Or oh, look, that's not bad. You know, break that 236. Maybe you do that test all the way back up there. That would match. No, it wouldn't actually. Boom. When does that say? It says it's happening this week. Well, it can't happen until it's broken 236 though. Well, that's helpful, isn't it? Because if it does, then it will, and it probably does it in this amount of time. Whoa, nah, what? 100% by the end of the week, and it's not even got started yet. I don't know about that. So, so time-wise, I wouldn't say then, you know, especially with the nature of this, like, you just spend ages hovering along that 236. So, yeah, you know, this downward sloping resistance, I wouldn't pay much heed to it other than to say that if price action did move there very quickly, it's very likely that it comes back down again, doesn't break this formation, never mind test these prior highs, and even though you've got a flash at 350, I'd expect that to be a wick high and then failure on the meantime, right? And that's amazing, there is a flash there, and blooming hell, oh my goodness gracious me, it works out with the TA and instead of going the other side of my trade. How common is that? It's fantastic. Thank goodness I know I've still got it, but then obviously I have because I'm slaying it every day. What? Right, what else is up? This is okay, you know, that's not bad. Did you see that? It's pretty good. See Tradespotting's lines? This fucking thing. Right, so, you know. Right, anyway, sorry. So what's up? What else am I missing? I would love if you could take a look at IWM. Oh, you're in IWM now, huh? Right, so I mean, if this 200 period moving average again provides resistance to the 50 simple, which will mean price action has clearly found rejection there and come back down again, then I expect this thing to break back below 170 and test these parallels in around 161. Where was those flash me bobs at? That's 175 on the way, not enough of a risk reward on that time frame, and then there's something to aim to back up at 185. So 185 and that horizontal level, that's perhaps the best area to look first for downside moves and enter in there. 200 would be even better, but the chances of it getting there, well, I mean, it's okay, that's good enough. Get your confirmation that goes through the center line. What about the 1 hour? We had bullish divergence. You tested above the 200. You failed to break it from here. That's coming in. Tested 86 of that break. Found out no more. If it breaks below the 200, then probably test the 50, 175. That's your flash. If it holds there and goes up, it'd be looking to short it from 200. Otherwise, it'll look for the breakdown below 170 and then take that to 160. Get your stop and profit and manage it for an even bigger breakdown because, like, long term, you know, 175. If this does break back down, 50 simple there on the 3-day, not enough info. I mean, if that 50 simple goes through the 200 period moving average on the 5-day, that'd be bad. The weekly, it looks like, yeah, tested down at 73. That loses 100 off it. Oh my goodness gracious me. So, you know, if you do get something, a nightmare, and you're looking to split up your overall indices into those particular companies, you think it'll get worse, then IWM, obvious opportunity here, back below the center line, rejection there on the monthly, below its own moving average. If you lose the 50 simple, 200 is the first test, it'll go from 170 to 100, get back up to 200, it'll go from 200 to 100. Whoa! No, GME, it's the other way. Oh no, it's the other way. Shit. It's the other way, everybody. Stop. What do you mean choose sites to close? I'm not closing any sites. Why are you getting my face? What the hell was that? Did the poltergeist? You'd be surprised, my friend. What are we surprised about? GME's and Hi, Tama. So what's up, GME? The oil freeze their asses off. What's up? Have we got everything? We think we've covered everything that everybody was looking for. At least that I've managed to notice. How long did the show last then? Why is this not telling me? You usually tell me, stupid thing, you. How long was that of a show? It was approximately an hour. It was very close to it anyway. Certainly close to it. Good hour of work there. Tesla, you want to look at some Tesla? Tesla, yeah, okay. 120, up 5%. I mean, today it's obviously up a lot more from the 86 to 1683628. And around $100 there, you obviously got a bit of a test there of a very important psychological level, and so far, you know, what more could you ask for? 5% today, up to around 20% since it's low. The important data coming out tomorrow, risk on over the announcement, you know. If you're in profit, you know, there's an existential risk to your position there. So if you followed TA so far, it suggests that the risk is slightly higher now. Yeah, I know. What are you thinking about it yourselves? That's what I'm thinking. Encore. That's what it's like, Encore. Funny story I'll tell you all about something that happened there the other day. I was on a walk. Just remind me of saying encore at some point in future. Maybe it'll be a few years from now. Yeah, probably will be. Certain people will have passed on by then. It won't matter. Right, so, yo, what's else up? But Tradespotting, if it's me breaking a game, sorry, you're not breaking anything. You're brilliant. Breaking in a game with what? What's up, yo? CPL. Tradespotting, mind taking a quick look, update on Sol? Well, I got to 1750, yo. I was about to type in 1750. That's not what you're looking for. Why are you changing my interval to Sol, you? That's weird. Stop being weird, computer. We did have a quick look at Sol yourself, sir. Yourself. We got it right up to that target, 1750. Boom. Price action came back down, lost a 50 simple in 15 minutes. Also below this important horizontal level in around 1680 and change. 1 hour, small as it is, meaningful. 50 simple itself back above 14. That's good to see. In the 200 now it's support at 300. That's all good. 1 hour, that's all good. But 4 hour 50 simple gone through the 200. Price action could easily come back and test this 50 simple at least, and could find it at 14. $2 off. That could happen. So far you've not actually found rejection. You got overbought and you've held it in the bullish control zone, the 4 hour time frame. So that's very strong. This is not a rejection wick yet. It's still very much a bullish candle. Looking left, though, you can see reasons why you wouldn't necessarily look to get back above here. And having got here, you would think, well, it would be maybe, and you have, you know, that is there, right? Close enough is near enough, and a man that realizes that will always have enough. Then, and there's no rush to being rich, right? So you realize all that, you're going to be a brilliant trader, right? And this thing is found resistance, and it could just go to get completely destroyed. Good. But so far it hasn't managed to find a rejection yet, so it could easily test that again. 4 hour you've had a that's not engulfing, but it's not particularly positive. 2 hour you've got a formation that's engulfing. No, that's okay then. So you hold support here at, I mean, I suppose you'd say it's 1595 on a 4 hour time frame. Yeah, hold 1595. I like it. Otherwise, if that breaks, it probably does come back down again, you know, and the first place that it would come to from there is, why do you want to be so annoying? I was in the flow there and you're so annoying, screen. Stupid screen. right? So, yeah, so you break 1595, test 1460. It's a big chunk, you know, and then you lose that. The 250 simple comes in at the next target in around 1350. 1462, 1350, and that would be on the way to 13. So 13 from 1640 is a big chunk. You've got to build all that in. Like, where would you change your mind, you know? And it's not just where do you change your mind or am I wrong? If I'm considering, like, this is speaking to you as if you're already in a trade, I don't know. But, like, if you're already in a trade, woo, so wow, congratulations. If it's in profit, wow, so good. At this stage, you'd be saying, well, where's my target and where's my risk? And, like, you know, your risk increases considerably if it price drops below 1595, and your target then gets further and further away, which is like, if you're already in the trade, right, that's getting further and further away from where you want to be. You know, at what stage would you want to have made the decision? Even if it turns out to be go there in the end, what's the risk? You know, what's the risk when you consider it? And to taking the proof fatal. So 1641, you know, 1595 is the target. A lot of people entered this back before it made this move back up again. 1451. If you did enter it anywhere around these 1590 levels, then you know that's the right place, but you obviously don't yet have the chance to get your stop into profit if you haven't yet done so, and the next level to do that might be back above 1679. So push above there, it could higher 1750 and further. You want your stop at 1680 though, and if it pushes back above 1750, then 19 or something. What was the target? Do you have it somewhere here? Close 1880. Where's the wick? Yo, where are you? 1840. Yeah, in the 50 simple approaching that level. I would be careful of that. Obviously, you know, right? $33 and that's all obviously something you want to aim to too. If you're looking for re-entries, this, you know, that was the area, the 14, breaking 1450 before that, and the target at 1750 has been hit. If you want to go beyond there, it's 1950. The risk is crazy from where you're looking at. You would rather it came back down again, found support here, and that being the prior high, and then you could re-enter and get a better position there, even though it's the same place, more or less, because price actions put in some level of support, and then afterwards there'd be more people on your side, and you could be targeting the 33, which also not crazy, really. I mean, it isn't. People thought I was crazy saying the entry here. It's still there, still on, you know. And if your entry's back here and you're just targeting that 33 and you want an easy life where you don't actually interact with the markets every day, then, you know, you can have a trailing stop off the back of that thing with your number. It's like $3 on it, $4 on it, and that you just never have to do any work ever. Right? Better with alerts and actually be more efficient with your time than just hoping the market does it all for you. But that's another option. Some people are like that. Like, you'd be surprised how many people do that. No problem. No problem. Thanks so much. You're welcome. Did I do anything? There is a rush to get rich. There's no help in rushing to be rich, and there's plenty of wealth in waiting to be right. And the most common way that people lose money is trying to, you know, in the markets, is trying to make money too quickly. So there's a lesson in there. There certainly is, sir. But obviously, as a pressing concern to have money too. I understand that too, which is why Tradespotting, the millionaire maker, is here hoping to help. So another 13% today. You know, that probably does help. Right? Awesome. We did a good job, I think. At least I definitely tried to do a good job. I hope it helped everybody a little bit. Anyways, a lot of people losing. No pressure. Well, I was about to go away, but I'll help you look at something. Losing money so easy. Yeah, it's so easy, man. It's so easy. If only I could just, you know, just do the opposite of what I wanted to do all the time is what some people think, and then they just start losing money that way, and they're like, I'm cursed, and that's the way it is. You are cursed. If you are rushing, it's almost always a reaction, not calculated or planned. Exactly. Yeah, another very important consideration when you think about the words in the sentence. No problem, Joe. No problem. It's hard for him to see everyone sometimes. Better chance if you at him. Yes, Donjo, what did you ask for? I'll happily do it. What is it? Tradespotting, I was asking BBBY bankruptcy, merger acquisition. Well, I mean, I don't have any special information on the corporate actions that's going on there. I can tell you that it came back up and tested the resistance that was prior support. Where is this? Do it on the 1 hour. Is that a good time frame to do it? Yeah, so I mean, it's even better if we look at it just like the 4 hour where it broke down. And we add this on the go. This prior trend, price action with the lows. Found some support here after gaps, 2 gaps down to get here. And then a gap back up just to meet that level of resistance in at around $2. What was the high? 187. What was that? I mean, it looks very close there on that 4 hour, but that's what you're looking at. Price action is still lost an important level of support, dropped below trend that had been in motion for ages. Ages. Since September. Probably since before that, like, let's be honest, like, that trend continued. It was back, flipping heck. So, right, so, and it's broke that, it's broke that trend. It also broke its prior low at the same time, and then came back to this macro support and found its low in there, the very low $1 and change, right? So, this thing you could say very obviously, looking left then, when this broke this level of support here, Don Joe, this level here, right? This is the low at 350. See where my cursor, big floppy dildo, is here. When it broke that, and I say when it broke that, which was over here, it's over here. It's over here. You had this dramatic departure that took you out of what was the prevailing trend at the time and back to this macro downward sloping, call it macro. Put it on the weekly. There it is, right? It's had a number of touches. It's real. It's a weekly time frame. Also, looking left, you can see here's a very important level of support. Yo, price action at $2 in this prior move. Once it broke that, you know, you were definitely on for this macro diagonal. And then looking left, you can also say that was an 886 retracement from the low to the high, a full retracement all the way back down to the 886, and then boom, right on the nose, it bounced. Amazing. That was also very close to a prior low and where you were going when you broke this support. So, and that all matching up with this downward sloping diagonal, you could maybe at some stage in the past, like I mean, say some stage, any time from Monday the 16th of December 2013, you could have drawn that line out and said, it may actually intersect with these lines and happen all this time. Somebody could have done that. So it's a legit thesis. So anywho, bounced off that. You would have not needed free touches beforehand, but you got them sharp enough, didn't you, sir? Right, and you put extensions on that, and then you probably could do it as well. And if I put an extension on this guy, what does it give me? I mean, I'm afraid to do it because it'll be so bloody accurate. Which-ha! Oh no, you're 1618 then if you do come down. Oh, that's this guy over here. That's quite handy. Right, so we can also use him on the top side. We don't need so many fibs. Get out of my face. Right. Oh my goodness, did I have 2 there? Oh my goodness, I did. So BBBY. Aye, we've had 23% on the day. Merger acquisition spin-off. Well, they got so cheap, people looking at it thinking that it represents some good value because market cap of 130 million. Interesting, considering $88 million worth of it was traded today. So that's the thing, you see, 88 million of it traded there. And I think the dollar's worth, and it's only worth 130. So if somebody wanted to buy it, right, they owned it earlier today. That's that amount of volume trading it there. We could have bought it easy peasy Japanesey. Yo. And what? I just got a donation on my. I just saw a donation notification on my phone. Why is it not here? There it is. There. Thanks for Sol. Oh my goodness gracious! I missed it at the time. Blowing me out the water with that one, Bulldog. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Boom, eh? Wow, look how amazing Bulldog is. That's amazing. Thanks so much. I'm really grateful. Keeping the lights on. And then some. Thanks so much, Bulldog. Hey? Thanks. You just saying thanks for it too. Blowing me away. That's incredible. What are we thinking of BBBY? Man, it's wrecking people, eh? Because it's got false hope written all over it. Like, this thing, to break above this resistance at $2, great. Maybe you come back up and test 315. That's the idea with this thing. $2 to 315, that might be the trade to take. From where we've come from to here, this is immediately risk on again. I think I remember saying that, like, something like that from here. Like, it could go from here to there. And it's from there that you're looking for maybe to the $315 trade. I think this is what I said, like, Friday, right? Also add to your, if you're really interested in what I'm thinking, it is that from what I did on Friday there. And the target probably is that $2 to 315. I mean, that's the trade if you hold $2. What's it at the minute? 162. It's not at $2. What's the high? 187. Didn't quite make it. So that's the best trade. You know, until then it's very difficult, and Lobely looks like it'll struggle at that level. Lobelo. In terms of you're already in it, you're looking at it. You know, this is obviously bullishly diverging compared to these prior lows. So you do have an opportunity to oscillate back up again. And that meme suggests the 315 is definitely possible. Plus, the nature of this thing is it's so very volatile. Volatile? Volatile. What's volleyball? Sure that's already a word for something. So if this thing does, stop breaking everybody's hearts like those volleyball players, so then you're looking at getting to 315, get back up over there, right? Just 554. That's no, that's not it. The next target's 440. Nice number though. You know. What? No. So, right, this, like, I mean, why I'm trying to be bullish about it, just to help yourself, like, to feel better, and that probably doesn't help you, right? Probably makes it worse overall. I mean, that's the trade, is that everything else is speculation that's, like, not justified right now. Anything back above 350 would be exceeding this prior low. It'd be very significant and going beyond this golden pocket and this 886 of the breakdown it's gone through. So, I mean, you're asking for so much for it to get back above 450, so much. 315, then 450, breaks that golden pocket retracement up around 950. All of that stuff would take it to in around fill in previous gaps, and at that stage I wouldn't think there's any chance in a million years that it's going to turn into a massive multi-billion-dollar company. I think it would probably go back to where it's come from, or worse, and that could all be in the death throes of this thing. If it does manage to get back above $10, then it could possibly test in around 15. If it breaks 1450, 15, then I'd say then you're on for a move back up to target in 27. Crazy stuff again. But like I say, talking about going back above 450 is already crazy from here. So that's what I'm thinking. Unless they do something incredible, which I'm not seeing. I'm not seeing that. Oh, market capitalization 130 million, average volume 22, today 88 million. Well, there's a lot of people who've entered it now. 160 post-market. Yep, could easily go there. The 315, 450. It's just, think about how much money all that 88 million that's made, right? Which is so much of the company's total cap. What's it going to do when price action gets back up around here? Right? I mean, just probably going to think, well, I'm up. What was that low? 128. Let's say it got in at 128 and prices are at 315. It's like I'm up over 100%. They'll probably say, well, I want some of that and sell it, wouldn't they? Like the money. So I'll have some of that money. I did all that hard work. Option chain for January the 20th. Option chain for January the 20th. On individually on this dude. $80, that's fucking ridiculous. And then 60, also ridiculous. 40, ridiculous. 30, ridiculous. 20, still ridiculous. 10, right? So this is what I'm talking, right? Like that 950, if you get up there, it'll be fantastic. You'll get there if you break 450. 450, that's the target. If you break 315, there's the first note of open interest that's even remotely likely to happen. Even remotely. And in truth, Max Pain, $5, that's nonsense. Highest 80, that's nonsense. Strike support at $1. $1 buckaroonie, which while we're all very enthusiastic, well, we're not. I'm clearly not very positive or enthusiastic about this particular thing. The reason that it bounced from here is because, you know, shorts were incentivized to close in those places. Those shorts that were making money, doing really well, and their contracts were uploads, they were incentivized to close. Loads of them were. So loads of them will have done, you know? And then that boosts the price up. People think that makes it some sort of bullish thing, but you're inclined to think that way if you're already in trade. This is one of the reasons we're so susceptible to our own biases, and you got to get rid of all that before you enter the trade. And typically, that'll affect you more when price action succeeded beyond your entry, which I would expect for a lot of the people that are in this thing. That's what happened, which is an awful shame, and I wish it hadn't happened, because one of the best things I did in my life was say when this thing was trending, trading for $10, $7, $8, I said it's going to come down here to $4 and change. At which point that's the bounce, and you could get an amazing trade. After that, it went all the way from frickin', where was it? We did it 4 hour, put it in there, 450. Thing went to 27 and change. That was the target we said that the most you could possibly expect. Similar thing happened with Sol when it's all like went, you know, $8. Like you're looking at 17.50. Most you could expect. If it does break from those levels up, you can then talk again about 33. But like this thing shows 27, and then I was like, wow, I could be famous for doing this on YouTube. You know, that's better than most people ever do on YouTube, having said, don't enter it yet, wait for here. When it gets here, it's going to do that explosion. The credible trades. There's newspaper articles about people who made like money off it. It was not considered all that different from what one of the trades I took. People talking about, oh, amazing everybody is. The few people who called it. I don't know anyone on planet Earth who called this better than me. And not only that, since that high there, up at around $40, I've been saying, like, don't go anywhere near this thing. It's good. Don't go anywhere near this thing. Until there, I was like, you know, this is so bad, right? That was what I said. This is so bad that it's good and only good till there. And as soon as it went beyond this level, I had my position. I was looking at places to close it or shorts to take, especially when it was back above 9. I was like, and that. So that's I really, really wish that the world would take more notice of that, and that somebody who'd followed me along had been taking the time to make a clip or that, you know, or something like that. It would have been nice if that had happened, but didn't happen. Would have been nice though. So, you know, plenty of people made money off it too, and then they don't come back and thank me either. It's really annoying. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder, like, what's going on. At least I know that I'm doing the right thing by the right people. When people like a man, bulldog, $50, Vic Vince to ask for somebody else to get help, and then Shadow Leptin coming in buying memberships for other people. You know, we're all about helping other people. It's brilliant. And that's what it's all about, making millionaires, changing the world around us, because we can't do it on our own anyway. So thanks so much for tuning in, hitting that like button. That's another way you really help me. Fucking brilliant, you know? Doesn't matter what the world says. It matters what we're going to fucking make it look like afterwards. Then everyone else will be complaining. All right. Remember and never forget. Nothing comes from nothing. And great men know that great fortune comes after a great flood.